Yeah, that's right. Your phone is a Game Boy now. You got a problem with that? No? Good. Now hand me that taco. Oh yeah. Yeah, that looks like a good taco. I can't wait. Oh, here it comes.
Nom 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 nom.
Hey there, how's it going? I'm TechDweeb, welcome. Thanks for clicking on the video today. So, tacos are pretty great. One of my favorite foods. Doesn't get much more kick butt than a good taco. I love me some rice and beans, some hot sauce, lettuce and tomatoes and onions, salsa of course, maybe even a little cilantro or guacamole if I'm feeling fancy, soft tacos, hard tacos, taco soup, taco salad, taco pizza. Is that a thing?
Pizza? Now that's what I call a taco.
I'll take tacos any way I can get them actually. So when Gamesir announced the Pocket Taco, I was like, oh heck yeah, a taco you can put in your pocket? That's so freaking convenient. But then when it arrived, I realized that Gamesir was not making a new taco. They were just making a controller that kind of opens like a taco and you put your phone inside. Literally 0 parts of this are edible. I assume. I didn't try to eat it, beyond a quick little nibble just to check. So like, are you even allowed to call something a taco if it's not a taco? I don't know. I'll leave that for the philosophers to debate. But for me, even though this is a disappointing taco, it's actually a pretty swell gaming controller for playing retro games on your phone. So I'm gonna review it as such. However, I'm still hungry, and I get grumpy when I'm hungry. I was expecting a taco and I got no tacos. So Gamesir, for your sake, I hope you did a good job on this thing because I'm in no mood for shenanigans. In the box, we get a little package of papers with a lovely looking Game Boy style chicken. I guess Gamesir has a chicken mascot. And you get a Gamesir sticker to put in the window of your Cybertruck. And we get a thick little book of very brief instructions in every language on the planet, apparently. And we get a USB-C cable. Thank goodness. I don't have any of those. And a little wrist strap. This goes on the case. It comes with a case, by the way. The taco is snugly in there. Very snug, actually. You need to shove your finger in this hole down here to get it out. I could easily make a rude joke there, but I'm too classy for that. A joke about bums. The taco itself looks like this. On the front, we have a D-pad, start and select down here, menu and home up here, and face buttons over here. And there's a hole underneath so you can charge your phone while tacoing. Is tacoing a word? If not, it is now. Up top, we have bumpers and triggers and a USB-C hole for charging and some LED indicator lights on the right side. And around back, we have a grippy texture for style and comfort. Inside, it's full of some soft rubber to grip your phone safely and keep it snug. Like a hug from a taco. So as you can see, the taco looks like a little mini Game Boy with the screen chopped off, right down to the retro vibes. Gamesir did make an atomic purple version of this as a Kickstarter exclusive, but I don't particularly like the look of that one personally. I love the retro vibes of this thing. There's lots of great little details like the way they have the A and B buttons in the D-pad inset just like it is on the Game Boy. The D-pad style and the look and the color of the buttons are just like the Game Boy. Squishy rubber start and select. And the plastic is so good on this thing. It looks and feels identical to the Game Boy plastic. I was looking really close and it's nearly perfect. As an homage to the retro Game Boy vibe, they freaking nailed it. Good job, Gamesir. You did the thing. And it's small and light. You can easily shove this in your pocket and carry it around. Let's have my temp do a pocket test. Hey TechDweeb, I'm here, as always, not just temporarily. And I'm ready to test. Really, you still look pretty temporary to me. Well, that's, yeah, I'm technically a temp, still, if you say I am. What does your tag say? It says temp. Do I really need to explain this to you? No, that's okay. I'll be a temp as long as you want me to be. Yeah, you will. Here you go, temp. Thanks, TechDweeb. Yeah, so the Gamesir Pocket Taco is, oh my gosh, so nice in the pocket. This thing is nice and small, but more importantly, it's a nice smooth shape. It doesn't bother me at all in there. Considering that you can use this as a phone controller and a handheld controller, it's easily among the most pocketable things that I've ever tested. I'm gonna give this 9 out of 10 for pocketability, with a bonus Pocket Test Guy seal of awesome pocketability. Temporary Pocket Test Guy. Right, a bonus temporary Pocket Test Guy seal of awesome pocketability. Bye, temp. Yeah, okay. Bye, TechDweeb. He's a temp. The way it works is pretty darn simple. There are 4 different connection modes, the usual suspects. You can hold home and south for D input Android style, or home and east for PS4 DualShock input style, or home and north for Switch, or home and west for G touch, whatever that means. As far as I can tell, this is like just Xbox controller input. That's the one I've been using, because the A and B are in the correct Xbox style orientation on that way. It features a dual hinge design, as you can see. This just kind of opens up like this. You pull it open, it gets nice and wide, and your phone goes right in there. When you open it up, it automatically turns on. Pairing is typical controller stuff. If you've already paired it, you'll be able just to open it and instantly be connected. Or if you change modes, you can pair it as different devices. You can also turn it on with the home button, and then it will stay on, so you can use it in controller style instead of Game Boy style with your phone, or even with like other devices. Quite versatile, actually. The opening at the bottom will allow you to charge your phone while it's on your phone, or just use Bluetooth headphones or whatever USB-C stuff you need to do. The one USB-C hole around the back is for charging, and I've been using this a ton over the last few days. I didn't even charge it when I got it. I just opened it up and started using it, and I haven't needed to charge this yet. It has a 600 milliamp hour battery, which is actually pretty big for a controller. I find it's actually really comfy to hold. When the phone's in there, it's decently thick, and this little shelf around back for your fingers where the bumpers and triggers are is in a good place. Depending on how heavy your phone is, it might feel a bit top heavy, but my phone is an S22 Plus with a case on and a metal MagSafe circle, and it wasn't too top heavy or uncomfortable for me at all. The grippy texture around the sides and back helps, and the buttons and D-pad are in a good spot. I put in a lot of time using this over the last few days since it arrived, and it very quickly just started feeling like home to me. Even when using it as a regular controller, it's really well thought out, and I love using it. The controls are amazing too. The D-pad is perfect. No false diagonals, but it's easy to hit the diagonals when you want to. Great for platformers and fighting games or whatever you want to play, really. The buttons are a good size, kind of a loose and slightly clicky membrane. I like the way they feel. Same thing with the D-pad. None of the controls are overly loud either. Zero latency as far as I can tell. I don't have latency testing hardware or anything, but I assume Gamesir knows what they're doing with their Bluetooth. These guys make controllers, so like it makes sense that as a controller, this thing is good. And it is. It's really good. When it's on your phone, you'll need to be running an emulator with the game on top, which I'll show you. You can play all sorts of games like that, but you wouldn't use this to play horizontal phone games unless you used it as a standalone controller. And then you can use it for any kind of gaming you want, including other devices. You can use this to play your retro handhelds or your Steam Deck or PC or even your Switch. Nice and versatile. There's also a Gamesir app that didn't detect my controller. Apparently you can use this to map the on-screen functions and change some settings with the device, but I couldn't get it working. This thing isn't officially out yet though, so maybe their Android app isn't up to date yet or something. I'm not fussed about it. I don't need the app, but that's why I can't show you it. I've already set up my phone to do emulation stuff. I made a video about how to do that. Check that out if you need to know how. I have ESDE installed as my front end, and RetroArch for the older stuff, and standalone emulators for GameCube and PSP and PS2. That said, this controller doesn't have a left stick, so it's not ideal for most of those games. I personally only really play retro stuff with this thing. That's the main use case for it, I think. One minor annoyance for me was that initially my ESDE was set up for horizontal mode stuff. That's how I use my phone to play games most of the time. However, ESDE lets you rotate the screen, and the TechDweeb theme does work like this, so now I just pop this controller on, start up ESDE, and pick my game, and it starts up in RetroArch. And I can play it. It's easy as heck. The Android version of RetroArch is made to be easy to play games on your phone, so all the emulators are set up by default where the screen is up top, and there are touchscreen controls down here. They know you're going to be playing like this, so that's why they do this by default. And that's great because I do play like this sometimes, but also I don't have to reconfigure anything when using the Taco. I just slap this on and it works right away. No need to pick special screen scaling or overlays or anything like that. The one modification I did do was I downloaded a RetroArch theme that looked like a Game Boy. This was actually a Game Boy Color theme that I edited the overlay to be more Game Boy colored. I'm actually considering making my own TechDweeb style overlay for this, but I didn't have time to do that before this video. If I end up doing that, I'll post it as a public post on my Patreon page, and I'll pin a comment below. So if you're watching this video in the future, look down there to see if I did. that. This overlay is really only for Game Boy and Game Boy Color though. The other stuff I like to play, like NES and Super Nintendo or whatever, that stuff I don't bother with any overlays or anything like that. I think this looks great, just having the controller down here and a black screen coming out the top. My phone is an S22 Plus, so it's a lovely high resolution OLED screen. Actually, now that I think about it, this is probably the best OLED screen that I own. And with the Taco on there, it's probably the best vertical that I have too, which is kind of, that's kind of profound. I didn't really think about that until now. I just, yeah, heck yeah. This here is an amazing retro handheld. As for what I play with this, obviously Game Boy and Game Boy Color are the star of the show. Those are the games that work great with this setup, with a controller down here, a 10:9 ratio screen up here that takes up more of the vertical space of your phone, and now that I've taken the time to add an overlay, it feels like a full-on Game Boy focused experience. Another group of systems that's really nice with this setup is the 8:7 ratio systems. NES, Super Nintendo, and TurboGrafx-16. Those weren't as wide as the 4:3 systems, and they can take up just a little bit of extra vertical space and be a bigger image when playing in vertical mode like this. 4:3 stuff is actually totally fine too. It may feel a little bit weird having so much empty space in your phone, but honestly, these games are plenty big enough. They're just as big here as they are on the 3.5-inch screen handles like the RG35XX Plus. So like, don't be too fussed about playing 4:3 stuff. At first, I was kinda weirded out by GBA, because GBA was a 3:2 system, which makes it even smaller here vertically. However, at one point I was testing games and I fired up Advance Wars 2, and I had a game on the go, so I just played it, and I got sucked in and I lost about 30 minutes and I had an amazing time. It's like, even if it's not as nice to play GBA like this compared to this, even if it's not the ideal GBA experience, it's still great. It's still totally enjoyable. That said, 16:9 stuff is too weird for me like this. Don't buy this if you want to play PSP or whatever. Just get a different style controller for that stuff. Get this for retro stuff, especially Game Boy, and you'll be very happy with it, if you're like me. And if you're not like me, then, well, I feel sorry for you, because I'm pretty great. So yeah, the Pocket Taco. I was not expecting to like it nearly as much as I do. Part of that was how easy and effortless it was to get up and running. Part of it was how nice of an experience it is to use. And part of it is that it's interesting and I like to tinker, so I want to do things to make the experience even better, like my overlay. I think this is going to get a lot of use from me just because it's cool. I like how it looks, I like how it works, I like the way it feels, even if I don't like that it tastes nothing like a taco. The price is $35 if you get it from Gamesir directly. However, if you buy it from AliExpress, you can find it at less than 30 bucks. I'll find a few links and include them in the thingy below if you're looking to pick one up. And if you don't, then just save your money and head over to Taco Town and get yourself a pizza crepe taco pancake chili bag, and don't play Game Boy like this while you do it. I'm not here to tell you how to spend your money. I'm just here to say, share this video with a friend, because the only thing better than watching TechDweeb videos is taco boating them.